As an artist, I started in the States. I bought my first mixer in 2009. I realized that this is what I want to do. This is my passion. Fast forward 2013, I got back to Saudi, and it was interesting because there was no scene back in 2013. Well, I focused on my corporate job. I got hired. I started my career in 2013. So the beginning, there was generally no scene. It started in friend's house, private gathering, and slowly we met each other. And the journey in Saudi, for me personally as an artist, started then. By say 2014, 2015, this scene started coming together. Some DJs, we all started to meet each other here in Riyadh. And I realized there are some people who are following the same passion, the same taste in music, which was surprisingly was not the case before I left the country in 2008. The scene started getting together in 2000, but fast forward to 2019, when Soundstorm happened, the realization, or like looking around and seeing that there was those small circles everywhere in Saudi, and the festival just brought us together, connected us. It was a huge turning point, I think, in the Saudi music scene, especially in Riyadh. I think Jeddah is a bit ahead of Riyadh in terms of music and creative side. But in Riyadh, it was a bit slower. People were more private. Took some time to form the scene, but in 2019, everyone realized that this is new generation or the new music scene. Recently, I've made this decision, and I'd say 6 months ago, back in April. But back then, I'd say the market was not mature enough or reliable enough to fully switch or make a living out of it in Saudi. Jumping from a corporate job, I've been working for 8 years. But I'd say the last year this thought was there for, I'd say, a year and a half. But thankfully, I took this huge step. I'm a very calculated person, so it wasn't an easy step. I think this is more of a case of it happened to us, and we realized that, we are in a position, we have a community around us that are trusting us with our plans and with our events. And we looked around and we were like, it's meant to happen. We need to start something. There is trust, there is energy, there's passion, there's excitement. So with that, we decided to come together and start this collective, this brand. It's mainly a community-based brand. Part of it is to give artists a forum to express, to show what they're capable of. We care about bringing together those same passionate people in the scene, not just to, reach a number or just throw a party and play music. It's more of a bigger story of music and connections, music and expression. I came from a time where there was no scene. There was no people listening to this music. I was struggling to find friends that appreciate the same music. So coming from that place, to the scene now, I am like super grateful. I'm happy with a lot. It's always a good thing, even if it's not done. There is gaps, there is room for improvement, but we are going in the right direction. Every year you see huge improvements, especially with leaders like Middle East, and they have the power to influence. They have the power to lead, to show, and to make an impact, and to fix some of those gaps, to give the platform to people and to close those gaps in a good way, especially with the experience of the team. And there is a huge number or a huge portion of the scene that are very aware of the global market standard. Going forward, this gap is shrinking or it's closing. And with the experience that everyone has, the standard is being raised. Yes, there is huge room for improvement, especially with this kind of events like Lymm or all the private brands or local brands. There is room for improvement in that sense of how to make this a bit official or a bit public in a way that can still be private, but it has to be regulated in a way, or that helps those kind of brands to be safe rules in those parties. It's really underground. You can make it authorized or make it a licensed event, especially with this, safety measures is a huge thing. I think the challenge mainly, and still is finding the space, finding the safe space. The space is the most important thing. So people, when they throw events, they're very cautious and careful and afraid in a way because it's not a permitted event. So the challenge here is to give people the assurance that this is okay, you can do it, but with the right measures. I think we just need to identify the most important shortcomings and focus on how to do it in a way that will help the scene to elevate and to reach the standard or the global market standard.